Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK Journey video. In this video we're going to be going over the Clashfronts defenses that I've set for this week, and maybe it can help you guys also come up with your own defense options. So I am trying a little bit of a different strategy this week with a couple of my teams, and I've really tried to make my top 3 teams pretty similar to my teams in Supreme Arena. Like basically I'm trying to make really strong 3 teams and then 2 kind of weaker teams with the leftover heroes, but that are still pretty good and functional. And I think there's a good strategy even if you are a Vanguard and you have to put together 5 teams. If you put together like a couple of solid teams, you have a chance of maybe win streaking and getting consecutive wins. I know fatigue is going to be more powerful now, so I don't know how that will impact everything, but this is just my opinion about that. Okay, so here are the different groups I have. So of course my first team is going to be my Scarlita Stall team, which you guys have seen many times by this point. I like the Tide Call spell because it times really well when Scarlita descends. It usually is activating for that debuff. And you could use Talene in here instead of Scarlita. Talene does well in stall-oriented teams as well, where Talene keeps reviving, your team keeps healing and reviving, and also you can have the Haywin to heal Talene and allow her to continuously cast her ultimate. And we have Floorball in here who does pretty well in a stall comp, and I didn't have really any other good team to put her into. That is why she is over here. Team number 2, we have my Mauler team, and there are 2 ways you can run Maulers. You can run Vala in here instead of the Fresto and go for a more offensive comp, and that does especially well. Like Vala and Sylvina do really well in Clashfronts specifically because the opponent will not be able to position to counter them. So heroes which are good PvP heroes but they suffer because they're easily countered when you put them on defense, those do really well in Clashfronts. So Vala, Sylvina, yeah, they're really strong. But I decided, you know what, because I have Fresto abilities, Supreme Plus, I need to use him, and I think the best suited team for him is this Mauler-oriented team with multiple bodies up in the front to have Shakira buff up both of them with damage reduction and also gain attack buff from his Wolf's Will with them. And yeah, we have them on the tiles. We have the Rainier position swapping, hopefully the Shakir to give him damage reduction, and also he's giving the charm bonus to Shakir for the first 45 seconds for kill threat. We have the binding spell because, you know, you have to make use of all the artifacts you have. I think binding spell is a good option, and I really had to decide whether I wanted binding spell in this team or my control team, and it doesn't really make sense to have binding spell in a team that you already have so much lockdown, because it can just then be harder countered by Wilder or Mauler tiles. So I think Binding Spell is good. And also, Binding Spell is good, like, it can help maybe bring the backline enemies closer towards the front to allow Shakir to shred through them, and just control them for a bit is good. So I really like this team. If you don't have Fresto, you can replace it for, like, another tank like Antandra. You can try to put Mikola in here in the team. I think it would be pretty effective. Like, for example, getting rid of the Fresto and going for maybe Mikola like this. Or even, rather than Mikola, going for Vala in the position that Mikola is in. Or even potentially you could go for Smokey here, would not be too bad. Or but you wouldn't want to position swap him probably. And then you can finally go for like OD if you want. Basically other Maulers to fill this out. Yeah, but let's just refill out the team. And even in this specific team I could have went for example, Mikola instead of the Coco, but I don't know. It's difficult to know which is better, so I just decided on the Coco with the energy buff from the Crimson contract to allow it to charge up faster. Okay, so here we have my crowd control team. It is pretty much my strongest team, but I need to run. So normally in this team, I'm actually running it in my Supreme Arena defense, but I'm running Granny as a tank instead of Almas. And Almas, of course, synergizes better with Iron if you're able to mobilize enemies, and again, because we're in Clashfronts and the opponent won't be able to plan out their attacks, we can run into teams that are like very easy to control, and Almas can get a lot of value. And of course, if I need to use Almas in a team, it's best to use him with Iron and other crowd control on your team. Yeah, because also Carolina benefits from the crowd control. She deals more damage, gets more snowballs casted onto enemies who have been controlled. We've gone for the Verdant Spell. I really like Verdant Spell, honestly. It has really good stat distribution, tankiness and damage, and really good class-based buffs. Damage reduction for your tank, it has the energy regeneration for your mages, and it has penetration for Lily May, all giving them more kill threat. And this is like kind of a nuke team. You have a lot of kill pressure here. Lily May, Art, and Carolina coming for the enemies, and if you can control them as well, it's pretty much your game to win from that point. So I like this team a lot. I don't like Brian. I've passed on Brian. Like, I know he counters Lily May, but he is kind of then like a wasted hero on the team. I feel like there's so many other better heroes you could be running, so that is why I've decided not Brian. Okay, team number 4. Now here is my interesting team. And this is the team, if you've built up Tassi to Mythic Plus or above, this is the team that you can definitely try. So my Tassi is at Supreme. I upgraded her with the Acorns, and she's at plus 10 exclusive equipment. But this team has the potential of getting a lot of wins. So what we have is, of course, we need to have the 3 Light Bearers to get the Light Bearer buff tiles. We have Rowan on the tile and Tassi on the tile to try and get Tassi, once she casts her first ultimate, to just cycle until the opponent is dead without ever having downtime on her hypnotization. That is the game plan. That is like the dream combo. Of course, it will not always work. But Tassi has a survivability with the invincibility proc, so even if she gets focused a bit, she should be able to bounce back and maybe get off an ultimate. Apart from that, like, Tamesia is a pretty overall good hero, has some crowd control, and Corrin just for the shielding for more tankiness. And Valor Shield spell I think is the best for this Tassi team because, first of all, it gives your tank massive defenses. Like, we're going to take a look at it. It boosts the defenses by I think up to like almost 100%, like 90%, which is already Granny is a super tank. This is going to be really difficult for the opponents to kill a Granny. And it also gives haste to your rearmost ally, and this is going to be Tassi in the rearmost position. So that will allow her to charge up her ultimate faster with that haste. And she also gets a shield, and her and Granny both, so they are going to be unaffected by crowd control. So it's best to use a Valor Shield spell in a team where you do not have like Mauler or Wilder tiles, because Mauler or Wilder tiles already have the unaffected, so it's kind of like a waste of the unaffected buff, right? From the Valor Shield. And it gives Tassi more tankiness with the shield effect. So I like this team. I think it will do good things for me, or pretty decent, and given my leftover options, I was really happy we were able to put this together. Now my final team, yeah, we had Graveborn heroes left over, so we're going to go for a Graveborn team. Igor is going to be my like pseudo tank, but also like he provides a lot of interference. The opponents are going to focus him, and it will give my team time to be protected. We have a lot of kill threats, Sylvina and Vala. Now I don't know about Sylvina on the tile or Vala on the tile. It's a difficult decision, but I do like Sylvina as a sacrifice, and right now she is the rearmost and she is the sacrifice. That is going to give percentage of her attack and defense to Viperon and Vala to hit harder. And also we have Sylvina lining up to a target over here, and Vala also potentially marking the same target. And that is going to be hopefully an easy quick kill to begin like snowballing. Because Vala gets a big snowball effect after her first kill. She's kind of becoming invisible and not targetable, and Sylvina gets energy, of course, on the kill and frightens nearby enemies. So they really synergize if you have plus 10 exclusive equipment. We have Ludovic to give the attack buff charms to Vala, because Vala is one of my major damage dealers. I'm thinking Vala is going to get off more damage than Viperon, but Viperon can get off a lot of damage as well. So definitely we could give the charms to Viperon, or potentially even Sylvina too. It's like there are a lot of good options, but I chose Vala because I want her to carry for me after getting 1 kill. So that is pretty much a resonating spell on the Vala as well. That's another reason we have her on the tile, because she can charge up her ultimate faster and also get the attack buff each time she casts, and immunity. I think that's pretty strong. So overall, I'm really happy with these teams, happier than I was last week, and I think we have covered like some good replacement options if you are lacking some of the heroes here. So hopefully you guys can make good use of these different defenses. Like I said, if you don't have Freyasto, you can replace for Antandra as a tank, or you can go for a Mikola, Odie, or Smokey in here. And even if you are not a fan of Rainier, you don't have to run Rainier. I don't know, I feel like it just gives me a lot more kill threat, giving the attack buff charms to Shakir, and also the damage reduction from his plus 10 exclusive equipment if there is an opponent placed on the buff tile, which there definitely will be. The thing is, in Clashfronts, people are placing their defenses. Who would place a defense in Clashfronts without a hero on a buff tile? No one would do it. So there's always going to be a hero here, and that hero will always be taking bonus damage because of Rainier's debuff, and Shakir will always be getting the damage reduction, which is insane. Like already, Shakir has massive damage reduction after he casts his ultimate. This is going to be crazier with the binding spell. So anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you want to chat with me more, you can join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. Good luck on your Clashfronts this week. If you just take a look at my Clashfront matchup, it's interesting. We haven't been matched with any of the guilds we were matched with previously, and we were in the elite tier, so all of us promoted up to epic. So I hope that is the case, that they will always try to match you with new opponents each time you have a chance, because that will make things more interesting rather than constantly fighting the same people. But I guess if you make it to legendary tier in the limited people there, you're going to have to just keep fighting the same guilds. So yeah, what my strategy is going to be and what I recommend is, because of these event rewards which are running for you and your whole guild, it will be like advantageous for you if you distribute all of your all of your heroes on different grids, because you will first of all gain all the battle on 4 different grids during a single game. That's pretty easy. Most guilds should be able to do that. But to defeat heroes, the thing is, if you have all of your team members stacked up onto one grid, you're probably going to defeat the opponent, and not all of your players' teams are going to have a chance of fighting. But if you distribute more evenly, like maybe on 3 different grids or 2 different grids, then more of your teams are going to be battling, and you can complete these events. Because especially if you're in a really strong guild, you have to be more like aggressive with this and try to really spread out your teams widely across the map so that everyone has a chance of getting some action. Otherwise, certain members of your guild are just going to do all of the battles, and not everyone is going to be able to contribute, and you want to try to get these rewards and not miss out on them if that is possible. Especially the season tokens, the most important ones. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching, and good luck with Clashfronts.